Greetings, everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. It is Monday of term 5, the first day of classes. My name is Jackie Pierce. Hopefully you know that by now because you've already seen my other video. Um, every Monday, you will see a video much like this. I call them my weekly walkthrough videos. This one will be a little bit more involved because we are starting up entirely. But essentially, every Monday, I will go over what's happening during that unit, go over the assignments, make sure that you see all of the requirements, and give you some heads up about places where people have sometimes misread the assignment or kind of skipped over little details that are required. Um, if you get in the habit of watching these early each week, you are going to succeed in English 110, as long as you also turn in the work. But anyway, I've been teaching English 110 here at Post for a while. I'm very familiar with this course, kind of know all the ins and outs, and I know where people get confused. So please chime in, turn in, tune in, whatever, every Monday or early in the week to make sure that you are aware of what's going on and all of those wonderful things. I am going to go over the course in general today because, of course, like I said, it's the first week of class, and show you where to find things and how to navigate Blackboard and all that. But we will also go through Unit 1 and talk about the assignments because that is the main goal of these walkthrough videos. So let me go ahead and pull up the course. When you first log in Blackboard as a student at Post, you will be placed on the announcements page. So the nice thing is it's hard to miss these announcements if you are logging in. If you are not logging in regularly on a real computer, you need to do that. You are in a fully online course, and there is some functionality if you are logging in on your phones or a tablet, but there is no substitution for logging in on a real computer because you are going to miss things. So if you have spotty computer issues, now is the time to address those. If you lose your access to a home computer, make a backup plan. The nice thing about public libraries is they always have computers that people can use. So I know sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, the dog ate my homework, the dog ate my computer. It's really not an acceptable excuse in an online class. I know that sounds harsh, but you know, it is an online class. So think of it the same way as if you were working remotely, and you had a job that requires you to access the computer each day. Your boss is not going to pay you if you don't access that computer. So the payment is a little bit different in online classes. It's called the grade, but it is something that you want to get into a routine with. I promise you, if you do that, your life is going to be a lot easier in college. All right, so other things that you will see when you first log in, you've got this nice giant gray bar of stuff over here on the left-hand side, and this is your navigational tool that you use within Blackboard. At the top, you will see things that are general, and many of these you will not use on a daily basis, but you do want to go through them here in the first week. We're already on the announcements page, so that's the first one. The second one is your first stop for this week. One of your main learning assignments is to read through and click on and understand all the stuff that's in your course information. So we've got the outcomes of the course. We've got the syllabus for the course. That's an important one. I think in the unit, they even suggest that you print it out. I do think that's a good idea. Obviously, some of us don't handle printing very well, or we do better with things that are just electronic. So you can save it, but you definitely want to be able to access this on a regular basis. You've got the links to the course materials that are provided within the course. You don't have to purchase a textbook, but you don't have to necessarily click on those here. Each unit will have a specific reading assignment, and you'll be able to click directly on it. The course evaluation in terms of the grade breakdown is right here. You notice that the two biggest point items or percentage items are the discussion boards. You have a discussion board every single week of the course, and the argument essay, which is due in week 10. Now, I do want you to note that the pro and con of an issue and the argument essay introduction, those are worth an additional 25%, but they also help you write your argument essay. So the argument essay is the biggest assignment of the semester in a couple of different ways. But anyway, that's your grade breakdown. There is a link. This is a really important stopping point here with the library resources. You are going to be required to write formal, documented, and well-researched materials in this course, because this course is getting you ready for all the writing that you're going to do in other courses, including those that are in your major. So learning to use the library and embracing the library and not just going straight to Google and asking Google to find you things is where you need to be in this world. We'll go over it more in detail, but part of your goal this week is to go through all of this material in the course information, so you will see this. The other thing I want to highlight here is the Grammarly Premium setup. You are able to get a free Grammarly Premium account with your post-student information, and it is really a helpful tool. If we're typing things in Word or a word processing program, there's always a spell and grammar check, but Grammarly will also help you catch things when you're writing emails, when you're writing on a discussion board. It's really a wonderful tool. So please do sign up for that this week and get going with it. Discussion board criteria, you will have a discussion board, as I mentioned, all 8 weeks. This is the overall overview of what the expectations are in a discussion board for ENC110. This week and the final week are a little bit different as far as the schedule goes. You are not required to post a response to anybody else this week, but you do want to have your post up by the end of the week. Typically, you need to have your own post up by Wednesday, and then you have until Sunday to respond to 2 other people. But this week is a little bit different because it's the first week of class. But please read over that. You also have here access to all of the formal writing assignments that are going to be due in the course. Now, I don't necessarily expect you to memorize all these because they're going to come up again every single time we do one. But I do think this is a valuable tool as far as an access point for all of them, because the nice thing is you could take the time here at the very beginning and go ahead and print out all of these assignment sheets. Anytime you see this with a underline, this is going to lead you to a PDF document. Now, we're going to look at this one in depth here in a minute because it's the one for Unit 1. But you could go ahead and print these all out and save them along with your syllabus, or save them on your computer. But you do want to access these before an assignment's due, after, like right when you're ready to turn it in. And you also want to look back at those criteria when you are reviewing your grade, because a big portion of where people sometimes lose points is not that they didn't write something good, it's just that they didn't do what was actually asked in the assignment. So we're going to talk about those. It's one reason why I do these weekly videos, but please keep that in mind. There are also there's also an overview and a link to 2 discussion boards. One is the Ask the Instructor discussion board, which you will see in all your post classes, and the other one is called Hallway Chat. I'm going to do them a little bit out of order because Hallway Chat is really just for fun. Or it could be used between students, like if you wanted to see if anybody wants to form a study group or whatever. It is not a graded discussion, and I don't really look at it unless you ask me to. But the Ask the Instructor, of course, is where you ask questions about me. Now, You have access to this not only in the course information, but 2 more slides down, there it is again. You also can access the Ask the Instructor discussion board directly from the discussions link. So you've got no fewer than 3 places to find that very, very quickly. This is the quickest. So I'm actually going to use it, and we're going to go into the Ask the Instructor. So here's the thing about the Ask the Instructor discussion board. You should subscribe to it because it's going to send you an email anytime somebody posts anything. And if you have a question, you should click on the create a thread. When to email. I'm going to do something with you here and show you how it works, but this is also a tool that you guys will need. When do you send an email to your instructor versus when do you use the discussion board? Okay, this is something that comes up a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking for a second because talking and typing at the same time is difficult for me. Oops. Here's a good example of where Grammarly will help you. To email instructor versus posting a question on the Ask the Instructor discussion. So here's the thing about the Ask the Instructor discussion board. It is a public forum. So when you post a photo, or when you post a question to the Ask the Instructor discussion board, you are going to, everyone in the class is going to be able to see that particular question that you've asked. So you should not ask questions like, why did I get an F minus? Or can I have an extension because I'm going out of town? Those are questions that should be asked privately between you and your instructor. Email your instructors. Get in the habit of using your post-student email every week. Check it 3-4 times a week. We need to be able to contact each other in private, and that's what email is for. The discussion board is public. So this is a great place to ask about general questions or even specific questions about the assignments themselves. But this little graphic will help you with that. So I'm going to go ahead and post it. This is exactly what you would do to post something on the Ask the Instructor discussion board. If you wanted to respond to a post, instead of clicking create thread, you would open that post and click reply. So the next one that we need to look at then is the Meet Your Instructor. This, of course, is going to give you my email address and my phone number. This, by the way, is my text number. So if you text me, I will answer you, but please, use your smarts about when you're sending text messages. Excuse me. Tuesday evenings from 7 to 8 are my office hours. And during the first part of that, I will be in the English 110 drop-in hours. Over here on the left, you will see that link. I'm going to actually click on that next. To join the drop-in hours, there is a schedule. You will notice Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are typically morning sessions. Tuesdays and Thursdays are in the evening. My session is right here between 7 and 7:30. I will be in the Teams, so you can reach me directly. Anytime other than that, if you want to meet online, we certainly can do it. Just send me an email about setting up an appointment. Tutoring appointments can also be made using this link under the support center stuff. And this will allow you to get some extra help if you are just not available during those Ask the Instructor periods, which does sometimes happen. All right, so back to the course, we have then units 1 through 8. There's also a link to the discussions. So you will see that Ask the Instructor and hallway chatter at the top. And then you are only seeing unit 1 now. They're released each week, so you will only see them as they come out. Below that, you have the My Grades. This is where you will see not only your grade, but you will also be able to access my feedback on the grade, which is the most important part. some success resources, university policies, all kinds of fun stuff there. The next section down, I want to call your attention to, because we are using APA for all of our papers. That's just both for the formatting, like what the paper looks like, but also for the documentation, which we'll be learning about this term. TutorMe is exactly what it sounds like, a service provided by Post that will allow you to access tutoring. And then Grammarly and Academic Writer that's the link we've already taken a look at, but you can access that here as well. All right, so let's open Unit 1 because that's where we are today. The units are all going to look similar. They're going to start with an overview and a list of the activities that are going to occur during the unit. You will then proceed, and you should do these in order. You should read through this very carefully. Then you should click on the readings and resources. Within that folder, these are your assignments. So if you were taking an in-person class, for example, this is what you would be expected to do outside of class. This is your homework. So sometime early in the week, you want to make time to do your readings and resources. There are going to be links to textbooks. There are going to be activities. This is an ungraded activity called Understanding the Assignment. There are going to be videos. Those are typically very short. And then there's going to be an introduction to APA formatting and how to submit assignments in Blackboard. I cannot stress the importance of this. Okay, so you are going to have a writing assignment this week, and it's going to need to be turned in looking like this. So there is a template that you can use. I'm going to also attach a document that's already in APA style as well, but this you can use as a template. And then this is going to show you how to submit an assignment on Blackboard. I'm also going to walk you through that. Okay. All right, so let's then go back to Unit 1. Once you have done all of the readings and videos and activities, then you can proceed to your graded assignments. There are 2 graded assignments every week. One is always a discussion board. The other one is usually a writing assignment. But there are a couple of weeks, 3 weeks and to be exact, that we have, instead of a writing assignment, we have what's called a knowledge check, which is exactly what it sounds like, a test. But those are, you can do them as many times as you need to. They are not high stakes tests. And then every unit ends with a heads up about what's coming. All right, so let's talk about the discussion board first. In this discussion board at the beginning, of course, it's an introduction, right? So you're going to write 2 paragraphs. The first one is going to introduce yourself to the class. After reviewing the assignments listed on the course information page, write a brief explanation about how you plan to use your time management skills from your first 2 classes to help you complete your written assignments. Then share your feelings regarding writing coming into the class. Now, the second paragraph is separate. This is why I do these walkthrough videos, because a lot of people will then turn around and write 1 paragraph for the introduction. That's not enough because it asks for 2. So the second paragraph is going to be a story and a description from your own experience in your own life. So write descriptively, which means the senses. So sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell, taste and touch. Anyway, there's 5. About one place that has influenced you in a positive way. Now, some people get all hooked up on this. It does not have to be some grand place that you traveled to. It could literally be a spot in your house. Any place that you like. You should use descriptions and details to paint a clear picture of this place. So it's literally a description of a place. It could be a room, it could be the whole house, it could be a beach, it could be a corner of your backyard, it could be your porch. It could be any place, but it needs to be a place. All right. Review the Unit 1 discussion board rubric for complete grading details. Now, one of the things that you'll note is, and I mentioned this, when you have normal discussion boards, you are going to be required to not only post your own response by Wednesday night, but then respond to 2 others in detail by the end of the week. This week, that doesn't apply. As long as you have yours posted by Sunday night of next week, you are going to be good to go. All right. but you don't have to respond to others. If you do, that's awesome. It's a good habit to get into. So that's your first one. When you're ready, you're going to do it just like we did with the Ask the Instructor. You open it, you click on Create Thread, you give it a title, and then you write your 2 paragraphs. Easy peasy. When you're ready, you click Submit. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the unit and take a look at the graded assignment. All right. So your first official graded writing assignment is a descriptive paragraph. So you're writing a descriptive paragraph in the discussion board, but this is a formal writing assignment. So you're going to create this next assignment in Microsoft Word. You can use the template. You can use my template. You can use any template if you need to, but it will be an APA document. So I'm actually going to open my document that that I'll share with you as well. And then I'll have to share the screen with you. Okay. Hold on one second. I should have opened it to start with, and I didn't because it's a Monday. Okay, so let me reshare so we can look at it. So what you are now looking at is a Word document that has the APA setup already done for you. This particular assignment is not going to require any research, so we are not going to need this references page. So I'm actually going to just delete it because I want this to be really usable by you guys and to be complete for what you need. So you're only probably going to have 2 pages. You're going to have the cover page or the title page, and you're going to want to fill in everything here. So you're going to put a title. You're going to put your first name and your last name. For a department name, you can use your major, but you can also just use, because we're obviously in an English class, the course number and the course name is English 110. You don't have to have anything more than that. For your instructor's name, my name is Jacqueline Pierce. And the due date for the assignment, let's go ahead and change that as well. The due date for this one is the 12th. Okay, so we're going to put March 12th, 2023. All right. When you go to type the paragraph, you're again going to repeat the title here, and then you're going to put your paragraph right here. It's already got the first line indented, so all you need to do is just keep typing, okay? So I'm going to save this as for Unit 1, and I'm going to attach this to the discussion, or not to the discussion, sorry, to the announcement. So you will have it. So you will write your paragraph here. It is double spaced, and that's already turned on in the template. Notice it says 2.0 right there. So your paragraph will be double spaced, and you won't have anything after it. Now, for the rest of ours, you'll have a references page for all the rest of the writing assignments. Once you have completed that, let me go ahead and click out of it, and you're ready to submit it. You're going to click on the link. And you're going to scroll down to where it says browse local files. You are not ever going to click this button. I wish I could make it go away. Unfortunately, I cannot. We're going to browse local files, and this is the one that I just did. So I just double clicked it. You could also click and hit choose or whatever the thing is there. And then you also will need to click this button. I agree to submit my paper to the global reference database. Important note about this. if this is not your first attempt at English 110 and you have written this paragraph before and submitted it, you need to use a completely different paragraph. You cannot use the same work from one course to the next. Post doesn't allow it. It's called self-plagiarism. And we don't want to learn about that too much, but we do need to learn about it. So we'll talk about it right now. Once you are done with that, you click the submit button, and then it will go into my grading queue. All right. That's all there is to it. So we're done essentially with how to do unit 1, but let's go over the assignment and what that paragraph is going to be about. So we click on the grading sheet or the assignment sheet. And this is where it goes into all of the detail about what you need to do. Now, normally, I'm not going to read these to you. I'm just going to go over the elements that people usually miss, but it is your responsibility to read these carefully. So on this first one, I am going to go over it. It is worth 100 points. Your overview. In this unit, you learned about the elements of narrative and descriptive essays. Now you will write one paragraph that makes use of strong descriptive phrasing of a person or a place. The locations and characters in a movie or setting often are compelling because they resonate with the viewer. In the paragraph, you will show how one character or location is significant to you. So I'm going to give you an example of something I might choose to write if I were doing this. My favorite movie of all time is the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So I could choose a character like Willy Wonka or Charlie or my personal favorite, Violet Beauregard. I don't know. It's a toss-up. Sometimes it's Veruca Salt. But anyway, I would choose one paragraph and I would give a visual description of that person and talk about their personality. Or I could choose to describe a location. Now, clearly with location, if I'm writing about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I'm either going to pick the really depressing place that Charlie lives with the 4 grandparents in the same bed in the middle of the room, or I'm going to go straight to the magical chocolate mixing room where everything is edible. And that's what I'm going to describe. So one person or one place. It's up to you, but it should be from a movie or TV show, something that you know well. You don't want to have to go watch a new movie to do this, but anything that stands out to you, a character or a location. So write one paragraph about your favorite character or location from a movie or television series. And this doesn't necessarily apply with this, but this is something you should be aware of with writing. Please be aware that if you share information that is distressing, then your instructor is mandated to share that information with our counseling center. So for example, if you did write about a character that commits suicide, for example, that might be a red flag that, oh my gosh, are you struggling with that? So just, be careful. So consider the following questions when writing this paragraph. What about this character or location makes it so significant? And how would you describe that character or location to someone who has not seen the movie? Consider appearance, personality, and sensory imagery when building this description. Narrative and descriptive writing is a combination of description and reflection. You want to include specific details to show the reader what you are writing about and then reflect on your subject. Remember to use the 5 senses, that's typo, to allow the subject to come alive for the reader. So what are you required to do? It has to be a Word document. The paragraph itself needs to be at least 7 sentences and should have the APA style title page, the 7 sentences or more for the paragraph. Everything is going to be double spaced and use the 1-inch margins. It should be a standard font and a standard size. And then, of course, before you turn it in, you want to really be careful about revising and proofreading it. Your writing should be free of punctuation, spelling, and grammar errors and should contain appropriate word choices for an academic setting with a clear sentence structure. Utilize the senses to help you tell your story and include reflection about the subject. So then you have below that, and this will be on all of these assignments, this is your rubric. It is important for you to review the rubric before you submit your work so that you can make sure that you've done everything you can to land over here in exemplary. So for example, some of the easy things, in order to score an exemplary, it has to be at least 7 pages. No, please don't write a paragraph that's 7 pages long. 7 sentences or more. That one's easy. So review the rubrics every single time. And if you have any questions about the assignment, make sure you reach out. Questions about the assignment and how to accomplish it are perfect for the Ask the Instructor discussion board. So you've got some time to practice with that this week. I will be back with you next Monday for another walkthrough video. Excuse me. If you have private questions, reach out to me by email using your student email, and get used to checking that email because it's really, really important. All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful week 1 of term 5. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you over on the introduction discussion board. Take care, everybody.